Hashtag 280 characters. We only need this and this. Ah, damn, the ice cream emoji broke too? A guy joined Zoom class shirtless, and the tutor told him to turn his video off, so he did, and it just displayed his profile pic of him shirtless at the page. Oh, wow. How much is that tutor willing to double down on that sort of the exposure of profanity? This trucker is living in 2099.
Oh wow, he is watching a trailer.
And now for a sponsored ad by Turtle Lover 23.
I paid for this ad spot because I hate ads. Enjoy this pic of a cute turtle instead. Peace.
And just like that, this will go down as the most heavily shared and commented and liked Facebook ad in their entire database. And that's the secret, companies. If you want to advertise your product, here's the secret right here. Don't. Just don't. Wait a minute. Hold up. Zoom in. Into the turtle's eye there. Zoom a bit more. Enhance. Zoom. Oh my god. It's an advertisement for the EmKay merch store. This isn't someone named Turtle Lover 23. It's Robin! I snuck out my phone during a lecture and immediately received this. Cue the X-Files theme. An airdrop from Professor Donaldson's iPhone would like to share a photo. I'll kill you. Would you like to accept? I don't think you can really decline this. It's not really something you can choose to not receive because you received it now. You got the message. You know what's coming for you. If you could just tilt your head up from your phone for a second, you'll notice the professor is aiming a Solothurn 20mm anti-tank rifle at your direction. Ooh, Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, we're about to be quoted by someone with amazing insight and very, very fascinating knowledge. This is Kenzaburo Oe, awarded the 1994 Literature Prize. As a child, I promised my mother I would win the Nobel Prize in Physics. 50 years later, I said to my mother, "See, I have kept my promise. I won the Nobel Prize." "No," said my mother, "you promised it would be in physics." Oh, that is such a mom. Come on. Can you be happy for what you brought into this world? My Asian brethren, that I'm not saying I'm Asian, I'm just saying my brethren out there who are Asian, just for clarity, Jesus. Let this be a testament from any comment from your mummy dearest. Just give up on trying to impress them. It's not gonna work. It's not worth your time. It's a sunk cost fallacy. You can literally win a Nobel Peace Prize and still not be enough. Okay, some bananas that seem to be teasing what I assume, if that's the top, the back of their heads, if that's the bottom of the banana. I feel like I should be paying a subscription to be seeing this. My son got mad at me yesterday and opened all the bananas in the house. What type of passive-aggressive monster? Okay, Victor Pope Jr., I'm sorry to say this, but you need to come to the conclusion that your child is clearly either a sociopath or a psychopath. I mean, sociopath definitely more likely, but psychopath makes me feel more giddy inside about being an armchair psychologist in this situation. This is like opening every jar in your house, that like spread jar of some kind, and just grabbing a spoon, licking it, and just leaving it in the jar. Or being an old housemate named Ben, who every time you dried your towels on the washing, he would take them to use himself, instead of just getting his own damn towels. Yes, Ben, I know it's been over a decade, but I haven't forgotten you! Alternate hot take though with the bananas, I've just thought. What if Victor here is a prominent banana bread maker, or just banana desserts in general, and their son loves this stuff? And through their acute observation, they notice that Victor only makes these treats when the bananas are noticeably very bruised or opened and, haven't been fully consumed. I mean, it's still sociopathic because you're kind of manipulating people for your own advantage, but it's the cute kind. It's cute sociopathy. Bartending at Longitude, and a kid swaggers up with a very impressive ID that shows his age at being squarely 17. I pointed out, and he says, "Ah, frick, you're the first bartender I've met that can do maths." 10 minutes later, he walks by with a pint and gives me a thumbs up. Okay, sir, what do you do? Why would you just publicly announce yourself illegally drinking to the bartender like that? I mean... Assuming this is a true story. And okay, look, this probably isn't Australia. I'm sure the alcohol responsibility laws as bartenders and stuff are different in different areas. But for one, that bartender immediately can just take that drink. He's allowed to as an employee of the private establishment, can take that drink, get the security and kick him out. And secondly, to post this on his social media that he noticed an underage person drinking at his workplace's establishment and did nothing about it? Fired. Just straight up fired. Bye. And now for an insightful story from Bucktooth Cut. I bought a new car battery and it was like $220, and the girl at AutoZone said, "Want to see how much it would cost if you needed 99 of them?" And I said, "Okay." So she typed 99 in the quantity and the price went to $23,000. And she said, "That's how much it would cost." And I said, "Okay." I think it's pretty clear here that Royal McPoyle, I'm just going to use that word to reference now, that name, is clearly the main character in a Pokemon game, and she's just interacted with an NPC. She didn't actually mean to go up and speak to this person. She meant to just do the purchasing thing, but instead she actually talked to the character instead of opening the shop icon. That said, I'd be curious to see the replies to this and just how many people out there expose themselves for having no idea how, what's the word? Margins and businesses literally make their money. For the sake of these people's sanity, please nobody tell them what the markup percentage is of popcorn at movie cinemas. I can hear my wife 2 rooms away singing to the dog a song called Best Friends Club. It's about how she and the dog are in the Best Friends Club, and I'm not in it? Oh, men have to be so strong to put up with this sort of treatment. That is... Imagine being bullied in your own household and from the only people in your, close relationships that you actually have So she knows what she's doing. She's preparing for divorce and she's making sure that your doggy here picks her side. She's lived in this place as long as you. She knows how thin those walls are. Found an extra pair of boots at the worksite, so I decided to give my boss a heart attack. "Hey boss, look at this. Quick, look at it. Look, you did this. This is all your fault. You got a heart attack? No? You should quit though. Maybe you should quit from this. It's really embarrassing and give me the job instead. Come on, do it." I went out running on the streets of Delhi in a sports bra. Never again. Literally every uncle, auntie, and kid on the road was staring at me with their mouths agape. I am not exaggerating when I say that I saw 80 to 90 people literally stop and turn around to watch me. Their judgmental eyes left a crawling sensation on my skin. I mean, isn't Delhi supposed to be the capital of this superpower? Isn't Delhi supposed to be a metropolitan city? Is this what us Indians can do the best? Seriously? I'm seriously considering emigrating just based off this one incident, because the street is different. It's all strangers. But what hurt the most is when I got home after everyone woke up. My wife started crying when I walked into the house. My own kids froze still in terror. My grandmother had a heart attack and collapsed on the floor. May her soul rest in peace. India is not a safe place for balding middle-aged men to go out running in a sports bra and booty shorts. Is my boyfriend broken? Why did you leave WrestleMania on for the cats?
They need to learn to protect us.
Damn it, Kay. I can't always be there for you. What if someone breaks in while I'm at work? It's imperative the cats know how to make a dramatic entrance to the intruder and then perform various actions that don't actually cause harm but require them to make a lot of loud noises so everyone around them thinks they're in serious pain and can cheer on. Think, Kay! People who are able to read Chinese, what tattoos have you seen that were clearly not what the tattooed person aimed for? I'm Chinese and love to ask people why they have butthole tattooed on themselves. I can't even read Chinese. Went to cancel a streaming service that was $10.99 a month, and they were like, "Okay, you got us. How about $2.99? Going to spend tomorrow cancel threatening every service in my life." Hey, nice. This is what I did with Adobe. I've currently got 2 months entirely free. Because for some reason I have to pay for the rest of this year, even though I'm not even going to be going through the rest. I don't know. It's freaking Adobe. We all know it. Anyway, point is, I'm just going to keep cancel threatening. That's the only tactic I have left. It's okay. I'm allowed to emotionally manipulate these businesses by threatening to break up with them over and over and over and over again. As long as they're not human, it's not abusive. This was at the library at my college. Can I turn in a paper without citing all sources? No. Sourced from William Shakespeare, Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1, line 96. Now, is that a reputable source, though? I'm gonna need some evidence of that being a reputable no. Was that actually no in the right context of this situation of the paper? Also, what a terrible reference list. When was it published? Is this still a relevant source in today's informative environment? I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to refute this and give you a fail. Almost 1 year ago, when I went to a fancy restaurant in Okinawa, got drunk, and asked our chef if I could wear his hat and pretend to cook for him. See, stuff like this is where I mean, I would genuinely mistake this for AI in the near future. It just sounds like a prompt someone would type in. You can tell the chef's got a face of, I'm happy to go along with this because I'm still getting paid, but also, I am watching this woman's actions very intently to make sure she does not hurt herself or others in this environment. Her safety is paramount. I'm going to start a false crime podcast where I explain crimes that never actually happened. I'm going to do the crimes you explain, forcing you into having a true crime podcast. Oh look, it's chaotic good meeting chaotic evil. There is no single benefit of drinking alcohol, not even one. After reading these scary facts about the dangers of alcohol, I have finally decided to stop reading. Cheers! On a Zoom call at work today, a coworker said she was going on mute because she had found an emergency stash of biscuits and was trying to eat them all before her kids came home. We all applauded. Yes, children are a bundle of joy to bring into your life, but these hands will catch anyone if they're in the way of me and my biscuits. If I was a famous author, I would publish a book with 10 different endings, which all went to print with varying degrees of rarity, but not tell the readers about it, so that I could watch their confusion as they disagreed over how the story ended. Then, when they figured it out, I would come clean, telling them that I had released 11 alternate endings and watch them panic again as they all try to find the last one. Well, I'm glad we've screenshotted this person's posts to make sure they can never get away with this. I once worked with someone who told customers, "Sorry, it's my first day," anytime they messed up, for 2 years straight. Look, some people are slow learners, and you've got to give them the space. Not my mom getting absolutely had off by my dad in the group chat. She's out in town and is nearly 70. Some blokes just tried to give me his number. Was he a funeral director? Love you. I love you, sweetie. I love you. Love you. I heard of a guy who was fired from a company and he had a grudge. So he wrote fake Glassdoor reviews that were unrealistically positive. Overly high salaries, absurd benefits, fancy perks, and they had trouble hiring for years because candidates thought they were being lowballed. Oh man, that's gonna be the ultimate killing them with kindness. Bruh, these kids were running a lemonade stand and I walked up to them and said, "Got any grapes?" And this kid deadass looked at me in the eyes and said, "Ah, we prepared for people like you," and pulled out a bowl of cold grapes. The youth, they're learning! Okay, I feel like some people aren't going to know this reference because it's such an old video. This is that repetitive sort of, nightclub, techno, disco party pop song. Oh wow, I'm doing so well explaining it. It's the one where it's just a guy going, yeah, if you know that one or not. Anyway, some more lore about it. Fun fact, this dude was getting criticism for his popularity as people said that he was only famous because attractive women were in his videos. So he made this music video by himself with only green screen copies of himself, and it proceeded to become his most popular song. And that is clearly evidence that it's not because of his music that's famous, it's him. Everyone finds him hot and attractive. It's not the women. No, his fans were thirsting for him all along. If you ever feel like poo, just remember Courtney Cox's hair in Scream 3. Wow, what the fuck? I'm so glad I learned CAD. $34 a knob from Bosch, or 12 cents a knob from my 3D printer. That is an awesome saving, but I am also someone who I need things to match, and either you print a few other ones and start replacing a few of the other ones there, or it's not the same, it's not the same. But also, you gotta consider as well, the printer you bought to do this, instead of buying a $34 knob, you also bought like a $2,000 3D printer, so put that into consideration with your costs. Alternatively, you can try this other method. When I needed one for my Maytag range, I simply went to Home Depot and took a knob off the display model and put it in my pocket. Now, this method is considered theft and is illegal, but it is a method. Got my first HOA complaint, so instead of just dealing with it and moving on, I am reading the entire HOA handbook and snitching on every single one of my neighbors that has something wrong with their house. Hey, try to enforce the rulings made by establishments that only became a thing so they could stop black people from joining white suburbs, and you're gonna win stupid prizes. You go ahead, simp for... Why is it always these sort of names? You go ahead and show these people that they're wielding a double-edged sword. I visited a gun shop in Indiana once and had to use the bathroom. Inside was a portrait of a naked man with a thick wooden board covering where his private part would be. Curiosity got the best of me, and I tried to lift the board. It let off an air horn throughout the whole store. To date, I'm very confident in my age-old years of living that this is the only way you can actually get evidence that women perv just as much as men sometimes. You have to rig up Home Alone equivalent alarm systems just to get some proof. Harry complaining his sausages are too hot. I said, can't be that hot, mate. Whipped out his temperature gun and proved that the said banger is a belting 73 degrees. I bet he's a right buzz at parties. You know, I was gonna question why someone walks around with a temperature gun, but then I noticed this person's literally most likely his boss at Elite Air Conditioning, so... You know what? I'm not going to hold it too much against Harry here. He's not being picky. He's just showing off to his boss that he's someone who's very particular and making sure the job is done right. Speaking of looking at long, thick turd-looking pieces of meat, so I had this idea for hamburgers in the shape of hot dogs. I didn't think it all the way through. Clearly. You know, I can't really tell if the fact these would actually smell really good makes it worse, because when you cook that meat good, the smell is so good you want to eat it. But then it looks like poo. Like, what to do about the doo-doo? What's the first thing you'd do if you could be invisible? I beat the hell out of a street mime. That's equally evil and hilarious. You could help him become the best mime ever. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you literally have the opportunity to start up a business venture with a fellow friend that, you know, you could make a lot of money in some way, but instead, you decide to just beat the hell out of them. Do you think maybe you should see someone professionally about that? Bought a Star Wars figure, modified it, gave it to a Christian grandma, and told her it was Jesus Christ. Why is everyone doing this with Obi-Wan Kenobi? Stop it! In like 50 to 100 years' time, when we finally forget about Star Wars, people are genuinely going to put up posters of Obi-Wan Kenobi and think he is Jesus Christ. Sometimes when I go jogging, I like to listen to a portable CD player so people think I've been running for 20 years. Look, that is a good tactic. Unfortunately, I think it would be cancelled out by the fact you are sweating buckets and breathing and panting so much you've collapsed on the side of the sidewalk. The ketchup is always missing, and I found out my little brothers have been taking it to school because he said the canteen sells it at 20 pence a squirt. So he sells it for 10 pence and goes around at lunch squirting out ketchup and said he made a tenner in his best week. Lord sugar, is that you? Okay, but you cannot punish them for this. Like, you understand that, right? They are literally gonna be great business people. This is the sort of thing you cannot punish them for. If you do that, you become as bad as the education system itself that tries to punish people from their genuine talent and skills. My brother, who lives a few states away, sent me a letter through the mail. Yeah, that's a loving brother. I was just at McDonald's and this lady behind me honked at me and flipped me off because I was taking too long to order. So I paid for her food. When I got to the second window to get my food, I showed them both receipts and took her food too. I paid for it. It's mine. It's so interesting because part of me thinks this is somewhat... but no, he did pay for it. He's not stealing anything. 2 weeks ago, I told kids at school to write an essay titled, "If I Were a Millionaire." Everyone was writing, except a girl who leaned back with arms folded. "What's the matter?" I asked. "Why aren't you writing?" "I'm waiting for my secretary," she replied. I scored her a 10 out of 10. It's actually so dangerous to go into a mine with bad air.
Yeah, part 4 is up. Come look at it. Come watch me go into another mine. Yeah.
Hey, I'm a miner and never go into an abandoned mine. You will die.
I just went into another one. Go watch. Yeah.
Look, no, it's okay. It's good. It's fine that they're doing these things that can get themselves killed, because for us, we get to learn and observe and watch these places that we'd never go to ourselves because we actually, have critical thinking skills. So these people can do it for us. They can, deal with the repercussions, and we get to be educated nonetheless. It's a win-win. I filled in for my parents today at my little sister's college orientation because they couldn't make it. While I was having lunch with the other parents, one of the mums commented on how young I looked. I told her I had Jessica when I was 13. She choked on her salad. Pick a number from 100 to 200. 105. You've received $1.05. Go get yourself something nice. Mwah.
Oh, wow, it's Mr. Laced.
No, whoa. You guys, my dad was watching a video on his laptop in the living room and I walked up behind him and said, "Who's that freaking fucking nerd. And to my horror, the nerd on the screen laughed. It was a Zoom meeting. The nerd is one of our company's investors. Congratulations, Dove. You are now homeless and disowned. Things I got for Christmas. 1. A new laptop. 2. Your nose. Oh my god, this man's more powerful than Light Yagami. I asked the produce guy if I could try a grape, and he said he wouldn't care if I lit the store on fire with him in it. Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to try a grape. So I'm driving and I notice the guy behind me is cute, so I'm checking him out in my rearview mirror, and he dead-ass airdrops me his number? To the girl staring at me from the really old car, hope this is you.
Just giving away my private information.
My mother used to tell me I was the world's greatest potato peeler. I really bought into it. And every time we'd have potatoes, I'd get so excited to show off my skills as the ultimate peeler. It wasn't until I was in my mid-30s that I realized the whole play. Touche, Mom. Touche. It truly is amazing how much people fail to realize that positive reinforcement can get you so far in life with getting other people to do things for you. Like really, oh, you want someone to do something for you? Have you tried just being very nice and supportive of them when they do it? My dad ordered airplane parts for Christmas. I thought he meant parts from model planes, but no, actual parts of scrap planes. Okay, Catherine, what's going on with your dad here? This is beyond a midlife crisis. The man's trying to build a literal airplane. What's the worst thing you can say in an elevator full of people? Oh, so true story. My mom and dad were in a crowded elevator while my mom was very obviously pregnant to the point of bursting. I guess she looks at my dad and says, "When are you going to tell your wife about me?" My parents are happily married. She was just pranking him. My dad said it was the longest elevator ride of his life. Swear to God, man, if my wife ever did that to me, I don't know if I'm more in love with them for it or I hate them for it. It's such a mixture of love and it's just spite. I 100% subscribe to this philosophy. People who say no pun intended are cowards. Intend your puns, weaklings. Hi, just curious. Is it illegal to park in a mother and child bay if you don't have any children with you? Hi, Oliver. We would suggest you refer the matter to the owner of the private car park. No, I think I want to refer this matter to you. And just like that, Oliver exposed the fact that it was technically legal for them, but because the police officers were babies. Dun dun dun! Power move. Next time you go to the airport, bring a bottle of shampoo, but it's filled with yogurt. When they tell you that liquids aren't allowed, drink it. My parents are replacing their coffee machine, which is 7 years old. Me, that's not that old. I have sheets older than that. My mother, well, perhaps your sheets aren't getting as much action as our coffee machine. I'm going to need an ambulance. It's not a bald spot, it's a solar panel for a sex machine. I'm no longer feeling as horrified for my inevitable baldness due to my family's genetics. Y'all want this shirt? Man, screw you! Is that a yes? I had a roommate who was a blacksmith and he kept a sword under his bed and had knives lying around. One time he got cut by his sword and we had to take him to the ER and he was so smug because the doctor was like, "That was a really, really sharp knife. It cuts so cleanly." Yeah, it was through my own fault and carelessness. I'm so cool. Just accidentally closed a tab I've been meaning to read for the past 2 years. This is how people's laptops don't survive more than 2 or 3 years of service. In 2012, over 2,000 Koreans gathered to watch a single man pitch a tent, a 24-man army tent, after he claimed on an internet forum that he could do it in under 2 hours. The event grew so large, it even attracted corporate sponsors? The man succeeded, taking about an hour to complete the task. God, back then I would have said, this is such an absurd thing for a bunch of people to get behind, but, you know, I've seen the stuff people get attracted to joining and participating in, even in New York. I see your antics, Anthony Poe. Hey, men, do you dry off your face after a shower with the same towel you use to dry your balls, or do you have a separate ball towel? You start with the face, then head on down. The towel forgets everything by tomorrow. My ex is still logged into Twitter on my phone. I could be cliche and tweet, "I'm a douche!" Lol. No. Instead, every few days I will tweet something he would totally say, but he will never remember tweeting it. Slowly, the slightly out-of-place tweets will drive him insane. Victory! My uncle walked into Christmas, filled a plate, ate in a separate room, and left. He was here 4 minutes. Oh, did you want him to stay for long? No, God, no. No. After days of grifters and con men at CES, we stumbled upon the booth for VLC. They were all dressed as wizards and told us, we have nothing to sell. We just decided to show up. I told them I'd been using their software to pirate media for 15 years, and they said, yeah, keep doing that. Sometimes it's worthwhile to meet your heroes. Okay, there is so much going on in this image that I wish I was there to sort of learn more about it here. You've got they're like dangling phones from the table here, showing the amount of, I assume, people who've downloaded VLC. This is amazing. Please, can we make it a law? Literal law that everyone who sells a business of some kind at these sort of events has to dress up in some way related to their business product. I am all for the traffic cone wizards. Yes, please. Please, yes. For weeks, my parents have been at war against a very resourceful rat, and I've been begging them to call pest control, but no, my dad would rather balance a banana on a 2x4 over a garbage can full of water like a freaking cartoon cat. Mate, if your dad's name is Tom, or Thomas of any kind, I'm sorry, but you just have to accept the truth of the matter that this was inevitable. This guy was tired of seeing Americans with Chinese tattoos, so he showed her what it looks like to a Chinese person. Joke's on you, man. It shows us that you love the look of our language so well that you want it on your skin. Haha, you think our language looks pretty. So, yeah. I was best man at my friend's second wedding. I started my speech with, "Welcome back, everyone." He was not happy. Oh, that's beautiful. Someone literally bought a domain name to do this. Gothip.com. You spelled it wrong. You spelled it wrong. I stole the Toys R Us. Why? Why? Why not?